Good morning and welcome to First Unitarian Church of Toledo on this 16th day of March 2025. We're glad you are here. Who are we? We are a church with no official creed, and our only doctrine is love Love is the power that holds us together and is at the center of our shared values. One of those shared values is justice. We work to be diverse, multicultural, beloved communities where all thrive. We covenant to dismantle racism and all forms of systemic oppression. We support the use of inclusive democratic processes to make decisions within our congregations, our association, and society at large. Who are we? Well, I'm Tom Sheehan, today's service associate. I'm here with Tim Barger, the Toledo Unitarian senior minister. Jeffrey Maxey, our music director, is at the piano today, directing the First Unitarian Choir. Ginny Gottman, our director of lifelong learning, is away today, so Marcia Gamble will tell today's story. And today, our Tech Bay has Walter McGee returning in person. He's been away for some time due to household illness, but they are all recovered now. And he's choosing camera shots today. So you see those shots up there? He's choosing them. Along with Walter is Jeff Slauson, who is also the congregation's treasurer, and he's directing. Jeffrey Maxey, from his position at the piano, thanks to our acquiring some new equipment, also is operating the soundboard today. Julia McGee, the acting president of our board of trustees, assists with our Sunday tech preparation, and she's now back at the church along with Walter. Yay! There are many more church members helping today with greeters in the lobby, religious education helpers for today's RE activities, and we have a kitchen crew led by Carla Logan Mercer preparing for coffee hour. If you are a visitor, I bring a grateful welcome and invite you to fill out the yellow card in the pew rack to help introduce yourself to us and to get on our email newsletter list. We also welcome you who are joining us virtually on our Toledo Unitarians YouTube channel, whether live this morning or later whenever you tune in. We hope this time serves your spirit.
And hi, I'm Reverend Tim, and let me add to Tom's welcome. I'm glad you're with us today, whether in the sanctuary or viewing on our YouTube channel. The flame of the chalice that we light in our services symbolizes courage and illumination and honors our search for truth and meaning. We will light our chalice in a moment, but I also want to let you know that we have candles in other chalices at this table in front of the pulpit, and you're welcome to light them for your personal joys or concerns anytime music is playing during the service. Let's say the words together as we light our chalice. They're on the screen and in our order of service. Our chalice has the spirit of Unitarian Universalism. We light it centered in love. May it glow with sacredness and shine for each and for all. Let's continue reciting together with Tom leading us in the covenant of our congregation.
Love is the doctrine of this church. The quest for truth is its sacrament, and service is its prayer. This is our great covenant, to dwell together in peace, to seek the truth in love, and to help one another.
In this first of 3 intentional times of spiritual practice in our Sunday services, there can be other times that might help you, including your own candle lighting, but these 3 are for the full congregation. We look beyond ourselves, considering celebrations and sorrows and the state of things. This past Friday was Pi Day. The date, March 14th or 314, symbolizing the mathematical determination of the ratio of a circle's circumference to its diameter, the number beginning with 3.14. And I thought about just following a generator and reciting decimal numbers to you for a very long time, as pi is said to be an endless number. And a 2021 report has the calculation to 62.8 trillion digits. But let's leave it at 3.14 for today. There's also some embarrassment, as I didn't make the time to have a slice of pie on Pi Day. And baked pie is an important food group. Saturday was the Ides of March, and we have enough governmental intrigue today without adding a Brutus and Caesar update. May we have a return to democracy as idealized by great thinkers and leaders. Tomorrow is St. Patrick's Day. A few years ago, I preached about Mevan Sukkot, who came to be known as St. Patrick. If you celebrate all things Irish tomorrow, please do so responsibly. And today is the Sunday 5-year anniversary of when we stopped having public services near the beginning of the COVID-19 pandemic, having YouTube-only services, except for some select outdoor ones with plenty of social distancing during summertime. And that began March 15th, 2020, our shutdown did, until our sanctuary reopened for all. And that was in the fall, a little more than a year and a half later, I believe. I read in the Washington Post on Friday that U.S. health officials say that COVID-19 is now endemic or constantly present in the U.S. We have some Toledo Unitarians who have struggled very recently with COVID-19 diagnoses, and others who are still in challenges from long-term COVID. So let's continue to take precautions and remember that you are free to mask at any time. People in our congregation and in our other circles experience joys and sorrows, celebrations and concerns, have new lives come to them, and have felt the loss of loved ones. Bad health has continued for some and good recovery for others. And may we have empathy, as we don't ever know completely what others are going through. With all of the challenges we face, may we be present to all of life. Let First Unitarian Church of Toledo continue to be a place of welcome, of grace, even of refuge from hard times. In our spiritual practice, including our social justice work, which itself is spiritual practice. At this time and always, please have mercy, be kind, give dignity, and show compassion. And remember to breathe. One reason we join in religious gatherings is to realize common links. The uncommon is here too. Let's be together in faith, hope, and love, physically and in spirit. Amen. Now please join in our opening hymn, number 346, Come Sing a Song With Me. For you who are willing and able, please stand.
Song with me. Good morning. Thank you. I'm reading a story called This Too Shall Pass. Nita Jaffe was the author from While Standing on One Foot. King Solomon was wise and powerful, with riches beyond compare. And yet he was not content. He told his counselors, "I'm too often depressed by life. If things go my way, I don't trust that it will last. If they do not go my way, I fear my woes will never end. I've dreamt that there's a ring that contains the knowledge that will bring me peace of mind. Please go and find me this ring. I wish to have it by Sukkot, the Jewish holiday, 6 months from now." The king's advisors each went their own way, asking in each place for this marvelous, powerful ring that would bring the king peace of mind. They went to the finest jewelers and goldsmiths in Jerusalem and described the magic qualities of the ring, but no one had heard of it. They traveled to Damascus, Babylon, and Tyre, and spoke to traders and merchants who traveled the seas, but no one had heard of such a ring. Many times the king asked if they had the ring, and they had to reply, "Not yet, Your Highness." Solomon's hope was fading. 6 months passed. On the last night before Sukkot Eve, the advisors still had not found the ring. They'd given up, all except the youngest. Unable to sleep, he walked the city streets all night. In the morning, he found himself on a street with the very poorest houses. He saw an old man setting out his simple jewelry and trinkets for sale. In one last attempt, he described the ring to this man. The old man was quiet for a while, and then he smiled. He went inside his simple dwelling and returned with a plain gold ring. With a sharp tool, he engraved something on it and laid it in the advisor's hand. As the wise young man read what was written on the ring, his heart filled with joy. "This is the ring," he exclaimed. He gave the man all the money he had and hurried back to the palace. That evening, at the Sukkot feast, King Solomon silenced the crowd. "Advisors, have you found for me the ring of my dream?" he asked. "We have, Your Highness," spoke the youngest. He came forward and placed the ring in King Solomon's hand. The king looked at the ring and read the Hebrew words engraved there. "This too shall pass." As he read, the king's sorrows turned to joy and his joy to sorrow, and then both gave way to peace. The king was reminded in that moment that all his riches and glory were impermanent, and all his sorrows would pass away as the seasons and the years. From that time on, King Solomon wore the ring and was reminded in good times and bad that this too shall pass. We can only hope.
May you be filled with gladness, go in joy, go in joy. May fortune bless your way with peace and loving kindness, go in love, go in love. Thank you, Jeffrey. As we turn inward for a time of meditation, contemplation, and prayer, today what I bring is practical advice tied to today's topic of uncertainty and aging, taken from a blog by Michelle Vina-Baltzis, who promotes healthy eating. You might approach this as a guided meditation through aspects of life, regardless of your age. She wrote, I don't talk about this a lot, but I'm smack in the middle of middle age. And in full transparency, I don't always like it. Sometimes it makes me feel really insecure and frightened. Other times I celebrate it because someone with less life experience will come to me asking for advice, or just to confide in or hold space for them in a non-judgmental way when they're struggling, and I can usually help them. One of the most challenging parts of middle age is that we become more aware that life is uncertain. The truth is, life has always been uncertain, but many of us don't wake up to this fact until later in life. In my effort to feel more comfortable with uncertainty, sometimes I ponder about the things in my life that are certain. You know, the things I can count on no matter what. Here is my short list of things that make me feel better when things feel a little out of control and I need something to ground myself. 1, honoring our bodies. The more often we tune in to ask our bodies what they need, the better they are likely to function physically, emotionally, and spiritually. 2, be mindful. The more we live in the moment and stop lamenting over what was, the less stress and regret we'll experience in our lives now. 3, compassion. The more self-compassionate we are to ourselves, the more likely we are to adopt healthier behaviors. 4, permission. The more permission we give ourselves to be who we are, eat what we truly desire to eat, wear what we like wherever we like, and share time on earth with people we love, the more fulfilling our lives will be. 5, movement. The more we move our bodies in ways that feel good, instead of for reasons that may just make us look good, the more sustainable and joyful the movement will be. 6, boundaries. The more healthy boundaries we establish, the more often our needs will be met, which usually translates to less overall frustration. 7, comparison. The less we compare, the less we'll despair. 8, purpose. The more we acknowledge that our presence on earth is necessary and that we serve a higher purpose, even if we don't know what it is right now, the easier it will be to discover what our true purpose is. 9, acceptance. The more we accept life on its terms and stop trying to change and or manipulate the outcomes, the more at peace we'll be. And 10, gratitude. The more grateful we are, the more things we'll notice we can be grateful to have. As we observe 1 minute of silence, consider, as Michelle Vina-Baltzis asks, what kind of things help to ground you when you're feeling uncertain about your life? After this quiet minute, together we'll sing number 123, Spirit of Life.
Spirit of life, come unto me. Sing in my heart of the streams of compassion. Blow in the wind, rise in the sea. Move in the giving life the shape of justice. Roots holy goes, wings set me free. Spirit of life, come to me, come to me.
The reading this morning is from Late Bloomers by Brendan Gill, who for more than 60 years wrote for the New Yorker magazine. This book, on people making achievements later than expected in life, was published a year before Brendan Gill died at age 87. He writes, "As far as this book is concerned, the lateness has to do with the moment in time at which we discover, whether through an event dictated by forces outside ourselves or by a seemingly spontaneous personal insight, some worthy means of fulfilling ourselves. The age at which we make this discovery is an irrelevance. In the following pages are late bloomers in their 40s and 50s, others in their 70s and 80s. And this is because the process of growing up, like the process of growing old, is various and unpredictable. Some people in their 40s have already put on the habits and habiliments of age." I had to look up habiliments. It means special kind of clothing. Some people in their 40s have already put on the habits and habiliments of age. Other people in their 80s are invincibly young and, like Lewis Carroll's prankish father William, persist in merrily standing on their heads. Who are the late bloomers? They are people who, at whatever cost and under whatever circumstances, have succeeded in finding themselves. Yes, but wait, when you think about it, what a curious phrase that is. To find oneself is plainly to have been lost. It is to have been stumbling about in a dark wood and to have encountered there unexpectedly, and yet how welcomely, a second self capable of leading one out into the safety of a sunny upland meadow. It is certainly a magical feat, and nevertheless one that we observe occurring constantly in real life, a feat that certain late bloomers have manifested by their remarkable lives, and that the rest of us do well to admire and draw encouragement from. For we too, at different stages of the same journey, have our dark woods to traverse and our sunny meadows to attain. If the hour happens to be later than we may have wished, take heart. So much more to be cherished is the bloom.
My first thought in shaping this series on aging was that after brevity of life at the beginning of March, then a certain age last week, which focused on being old, especially my own entry into being geriatric, an uncertain age would be mostly about younger people. Thinking that the uncertainties of all of our brief lives are a bit stronger, I expect, when we haven't lived as many years. That as we grow in body and in years, supposedly we also grow in wisdom and certainty. I could do a classic gripe on kids today, but some might take the grumbling as my real thoughts, when actually I believe that our hope is in those who will come up after us. So may we be good teachers and companions. And my own experience tells me that younger people being more uncertain might rarely be the case. I know that I'm as clueless about many things as now as I ever was. I know more about some things, true, but also have forgotten much that was taught me, and know less about much that has changed in the world, society, technology in my lifetime so far. It's also possible that we who complain about youth don't remember well enough our own childhoods, or witness how much more complex growing up seems to have become. Maybe I don't want to grumble too much about the next generation, because yesterday I spent some time at the Northwest Ohio Teen Book Festival, amid some good minds and kind people still getting into the world in a way. I was moderator for a discussion with author Chelsea Babulski on the topic of faith in writing. I was connected to the festival through Denise Phillips of the Perrysburg Independent Bookstore Gathering Volumes. And this was my second time as a discussion moderator there. I saw some kids being really excited to be in workshops and presentations with authors. So there's hope for the world. Not only hope that younger people will help to take care of me when I'm not able to do that myself anymore. Also, I know that carping on kids today and how far from our perfect they are gets pretty old pretty fast. Let's let the young'uns live their lives so different from ours, and help as we can for them to attain the level of a certain age, as I have in due time. So today I'm continuing to bring words about us seasoned sages, realizing that even though sometimes we want to say our way is the way, at our certain age, there's plenty we're not resolute about. Uncertainty often rules, doesn't it? today in our country, regardless of our age. We don't know what the next news from Washington will bring. Heck, some of us aren't even sure where our car keys are, and we wonder if we ought to still be driving cars or driving the society. There are common things about being this uncertain age, thanks in part to Washington trying to do some good for us, and we earnestly hope that continues. We kind of have to be uncertain about Medicare providers for care and pharmacy plans, when to file for Social Security benefits within the range of about 8 years when benefits become available and the monthly amounts grow if you don't collect, and for we who are workers to decide when formally to retire and stop the work for pay process that's been followed throughout our adult life. All of that is aside from worrying about whether the plans will continue under a new presidential administration. And it's not a government entitlement, but a system we've contributed to with ourselves over our entire work lives. For all of us of a certain age, there's the uncertainty of health and even a greater realization that it can change in an instant. Being old is so much fun, isn't it? The point of an uncertain age for today, though, finally realizing there is a point, is that there's never a time, not an age, in which uncertainty can be set aside entirely. I hope we continue to want to explore in whatever ways we think. Travel is one way, and in that aspect, some of our Toledo Unitarians have taken tours nationally and in other parts of the world with Road Scholar, which is a part of the company Elder Hostel. Reading and research, education is another. And I recently wrote a recommendation letter to Meadville Lombard Theological School, the Unitarian Universalist seminary I attended from 2006 through 2009, or age 48 through 51, and at that age having a few more years than most graduate students. The recommendation letter for a Presbyterian minister friend in Toledo who was accepted and will enter a doctoral program at Meadville Lombard this fall. I have strong doubts whether I will return to formal schooling myself. I'm still uncertain about many aspects of life and still have plenty of gaps in my education, but I don't really think that term papers and so much reading assigned by people other than myself would serve my happiness. For now, I'll continue a self-assigned year-long or more reading project, along with shorter-term continuing education that's required of Unitarian Universalist ministers. You, however, if guidance from others helps to address your uncertainty in certain aspects, find teachers and or institutions to help you. And if you have knowledge you want to share, consider being a tutor or even a part-time professor. Then don't forget to learn from your students and find other ways to honor your uncertainty. Sometimes developing ways that you're certain Other times affirming that the best way for you to be is uncertain about some areas of knowledge or skills that you find you won't develop, or ways to change the ways that you live. Uncertainty is honorable. Even at a certain age, we can be uncertain too. You know what helps? Asking others who might have greater certainty. You might be certain about a lacking they have too, and the resulting synergy of many people making life easier for all is amazing. So, even when I'm of a certain age, my uncertainty continues, such as being human, and that is good. Next Sunday, this series on preaching closes with lifelong. Consider that ideally, we don't stop living until our bodies stop. Religion and metaphysics might enter the equation because we have spirituality and philosophy, and they pose questions about whether our being also stops in an individual way. But the hope is that our self continues at least as long as people remember and care about us or the things we've made. Those things we've made can include objects, stuff, and people we've made, whether biologically or through some kind of influence like teaching or friendship. So lifelong isn't just birth to death. That lifelong service will be a week before our springtime special Sunday service presented by Jenny Gottman and our lifelong learning department. And the title for that one will be Hope Is. So thanks to Jenny, we might finally get to younger generations in a March sermon. Live, no matter how brief life might be. Be certain when it's right to be, and honor the uncertainty we always will have. Do this as a lifelong practice. Blessed be, so be it, and always be a part of life, the universe, and everything. And now we invite Wendy DeBoard and Marna Slauson to tell us more about stewardship. Please listen, participate, and help our church.
We're leaving on a jet pig.
And what does that have to do with the stewardship campaign?
Well, this is the last official week for us to step up to the pulpit, so we kind of are leaving on a jet pig, right? And besides, Jeffrey will never let me sing a solo.
Oops, I guess we're
We're
kind
on a
of
short
caught.
leash here.
Yeah,
Yeah, just there. It's cool. It's
thank
perfect.
you. Okay, good morning. Good job. Marna Slauson, Wendy DeBoard here behind our pig on a pulpit for the last time as we wrap up our stewardship campaign. Of course, we all know it's not officially over until we receive everyone's pledge. Our theme this year is based on our 6 values centered around love. We introduced the first 2 as correlated with our jet pig's eyes, always focused on justice and equity.
Then last week, we talked about the next 2 values, transformation on this wing and pluralism on this wing. And that serves to uplift us. Last Sunday, we got down to the heart of it all by exploring the interdependency at Jupiter's core.
So all that's left is the tail of Jupiter Jet Pig, is literally their tail. The tail of an airplane plays a crucial part in steering and stabilizing an aircraft. Generosity is our last value, but it is certainly not our least. Without your generous spirit, we wouldn't just lack guidance, we wouldn't even be able to achieve liftoff.
Hi, hoof, Marna. By the end of the last annual stewardship campaign for fiscal year 2024-25, we had received 87 pledges. Based on that amount, the board of directors put together a comprehensive budget. As of January 1st, the halfway point, we've received $118,367, and that's over half of the $202,226 pledged last year.
This year, we were late in getting out our annual statements. These statements were halfway through the year, and if you didn't pick up yours in person last Sunday, they went out in the mail. If we haven't gotten your pledge yet, we will be calling this week to see how we can help get it in. We're hoping to have everything in by next week. Your financial commitment to First Unitarian will be needed to prepare a budget to present at our annual meeting. Thank you to the 35 members who already turned in their pledges. Everyone's generosity is greatly appreciated.
Jupiter Jet Pig will be back in his pen at the end of service, waiting for you and your pledge to stop by if you haven't had a chance yet. Remember, you also get your Pick of the Pig sticker, so if you haven't received yours yet, stop by and pick one out. They look picture perfect on my name tag.
Today we'll be scooping up bowls of Nedley's ice cream to celebrate. So be sure to stop by Fellowship Hall to get yours. There are multiple flavors already scooped in coolers right inside the door. Make sure to see Ellen, and thank you, Ellen.
And now we'll end on a low note by having just one last pig joke. Actually, it's the pig of the litter joke. What does getting up at 5 a.m. and a pig's tail have in common?
I don't know, Wendy. What does getting up at 5 a.m. and a pig's tail have in common?
Are you ready? It's too early.
Okay. Good one. So please get in those pledges so Jupiter will be able to squeal with delight at the end of this stewardship campaign. We've really enjoyed working on this with all of you. So remember.
Oops. Okay, we're not too coordinated. Together we can make pigs fly.
Who would have thunk? All right, well, it is time for the offering. So now let us give freely and generously an offering to sustain and strengthen our shared religious community, a community of memory, hope, faith, and love. For we are now the keepers of its flame that burns for justice, its dream of beloved community, its vision of a world made whole. We will pass the baskets here in the sanctuary. All of you, including our YouTube viewers, can also donate electronically or by mail. Thank you for helping Unitarian Universalism to thrive in Toledo. For our offertory hymn, let us sing number 1007, There's a River Flowing in My Soul. So please rise in spirit, and if you would like to and are able to, rise physically too.
It's the coming soon part of our service where we tell you what's on the calendar for this week. We give some announcements, and we also let you know what's up for right after the service. Next Sunday, join us for Spiritual Forum in Fellowship Hall at 9:45 a.m. when our guest speaker will be our own Phil Zepp, who will talk about the Unitarian Universalist Service Committee's Guest at Your Table program. And he'll encourage us to participate by taking Guest at Your Table boxes to collect your spare change and additional contributions. For the 11 a.m. service on March 23rd, I'll close this current series on aging with Lifelong, which indicates that we continue living, learning, and growing throughout our entire time here on earth.
Also this week, our monthly World Dining Adventure, in which members, friends, and visitors gather at a restaurant that most of the time doesn't serve the food typical in most Northwest Ohio households. And it will meet again at 6 p.m. this coming Thursday at Hadramaut Restaurant on Holland-Sylvania Road, just north of Central Avenue. Hadramaut features dishes traditional of Yemen. If you'd like to join us, please RSVP to Tom Sheehan, that's me. By the end of the day tomorrow, Monday, you can check the UUFYI for more details, and I'm also in the church directory. At the end of this week is another of our Social Action Saturdays, which are on the second and fourth Saturdays every month from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Come and help to prepare materials for distribution to people in the larger community who might be in need. And you might also make some things to encourage people to be involved in social action, such as the buttons and stickers that you see in the entryway. Also, there is a bin in the east entryway, the doors we don't use as much, where you can donate materials too. The final coming soon entry is for me to repeat the invitation for you to join us in Fellowship Hall after today's service for coffee, conversation, and social time. And don't forget, thanks to the generosity of our member, Ellen Wisniewski, we'll have ice cream from Nedley's in Perrysburg to celebrate the end of our stewardship pitch.
Let's have one more observance of spiritual practice. We have gone beyond ourselves with the pastoral time and turned within for meditation, contemplation, and prayer. Now, recognizing the Buddhist thread in our congregation, we will share a time of metta, having for and sending to all beings love, kindness, and compassion. Let's say these words together. May I, may we, and may all beings be well, be happy, be peaceful, be safe, awaken to the light of our true nature, and be free. We send the flame from our Unitarian Universalist chalice with the love on which we center everything to fire up the world and spread equity, generosity, interdependence, justice, pluralism, and transformation. And I kind of stumbled at that today. But still, we send that to the world, all of us. Go in peace, holding, knowing, and centering love in your lives, and sharing love in your actions.
May the road rise to meet you. May the wind be ever at your back. May the sun shine upon your face and rain fall softly on your fields. May the road rise to meet you. May the wind be ever at your back. And until then we meet again, may God always hold